Hello, and welcome to Broker Than You. I am your host, best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of our podcast network. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large or small. They will save you money or give you a big fat return. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He has put out some outstanding commercials of late. If you suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, a car accident, a construction beam fell on you at a site, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife got angry, stabbed you, the Finch firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all over the state of Connecticut. He will go to war for you to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. Remember, in a pinch, call Finch or go to his website, thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance, owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon, 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford, Connecticut. Trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program, 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He also has an athletic development program. He takes boys and girls in the sport of their choice, develops them from the ground up, helps them to reach their potential, be the best they can be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. So to work with the best in Connecticut, go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. Down south, we have Julius Williams and the Trench Mob. Decatur, Georgia. They train offensive and defensive linemen. They compete in 5v5 tournaments. They were undefeated this past season. They went to college showcase camps, and at every camp they attended, a member was offered a scholarship. Right now, members of the Trench Mob are in season and playing phenomenal. He has sent players to Florida, Florida State, Miami, Tennessee, Clemson, Georgia, and Alabama, just to name a few. If you want to work with the best, and he also has a virtual program, he'll be with you every step of the way, any state you are. Go to www.battleofthetrenches.com. All right, now we can finally get started here. We have Mr. Laban Marsh, the king of real estate in Erie, Pennsylvania, finally back. Good to see you, Laban.
Yeah, good to see you, brother.
And, of course, James Whitfield, Luther James Insurance, killing it.
Sun's out, guns out.
Looking swole right now. Look at he looks like he's 32 years old.
I'm trying.
And he's not?
And Fresh himself, Nedvonne Young. Great to see you. Nedvonne Young. I'm going to have to pay him for the conversation we had yesterday. He just blew my mind in like 5 different ways. And I'm convinced he's probably the smartest person in the world. So
well, he's smart enough to have a driver, right? I mean, this guy gets driven around, chauffeured. And look at him. He's like, yeah.
Hey, man, you something else, man.
You know what, though? He really is. He is a consultant. He is a consultant.
Yeah.
He has so many great ideas, and like he could be a therapist. He could be a consultant. He just gives such great advice, and he's such a great listener. I'm the opposite. I just talk too much. Fresh actually listens and thinks before he responds. So the first thing, Fresh has a new location. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So I didn't buy. I didn't buy anything.
Okay.
He did.
We
something
just
smart.
moved. We actually moved to a different location in Chapel Hill proper, and so I was able to work with another laundry, if you will, and kind of work my services with them in conjunction, and really just kind of cut out a bunch of overhead and increase my profits just by moving locations, believe it or not. And it's actually a better location, and I'm in Chapel Hill proper, opposed to being in Carborough. So,
Okay.
but yeah, that's
Yeah,
really it.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome,
and
dude.
he's
Congrats,
now he's going to be offering a delivery service too, which is unbelievable.
No. We already offered delivery. We're actually
you
going to
do?
be we're going to be offering drop off service, like for people to be able to drop it. So we'll have
That's what I mean. Yeah, drop off.
yeah. Last time we weren't doing drop off, but because of the nature, of the partnership now it's already open. So someone it'll already, it's already there. So I'll just staff. Probably next few weeks, I'll staff someone to be for the drop offs, and that's gonna just increase things as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's so exciting, and the service is awesome. And I told Fresh about Laban. You know the political show I do with my old high school coach Frank.
Rebel Republic. Yes. Yeah.
Frank has a building in the middle of town. I was telling Fresh about it, and I was telling him about the laundromat.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great idea, and he did. He liked it as well. So I was gonna have him talk with Fresh about possibly opening one there, but Fresh also had other ideas for him. So I'm gonna get him on the phone, and Fresh may be his consultant.
Yeah. Well, I think that's such a great value of especially like this show, is that you get to reach out to people who have done it themselves.
Exactly.
And again, you have somebody that can encourage you. But the biggest thing is avoiding some of those pitfalls. You still are going to go through it. We're going to make mistakes. But I think, again, what I love, Fresh, about you doing that is, like, while you run your business, you still have to be looking at how to maximize your profitability. And to make a move like that, Fresh, I mean, congratulations to you, because so many people get stuck like, I'm just comfortable here, and this fits. I know what I'm doing. But to take leaps like that, and it may not seem real risky to a lot of people, but I think when you see the upside, and especially how positive you stay, I mean, you're going to retain the people from that last location and grow to new people while retaining your existing clients. I mean, it's a great move, especially if, like you're saying, it's a better location for you, your people, and your clients. So good for you for taking that quote unquote leap of faith, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. You're I mean, you're spot on. It's 100% correct in reference to the fact that because we're online, right? Most of our thing is digital and online anyway. But now we're actually and we had a physical presence, but it wasn't really open to the public. So now we have public will have access in addition to the online. So that's just going to make things even better. But
and I think it'll be interesting to see how those two approaches, which as they meld, which one works out better. I mean, that's where I think the best part about trying new things is you don't have to get rid of the old, but as you start evaluating both of those, like which one makes the most sense. And I think that's why people need to try new things. You never know what is going to become either more profitable or less effort, less time consuming. And so I'll be anxious to hear here as the weeks and months go on, how that all works out, because I know you're evaluating your business all the time. And I think that's my point as business owners. Really you've got to not only run your business, but you have to think of new ways to stay on that cutting edge and, quite honestly, to stay relevant, right? I mean, it sounds like you're positioning yourself to increase that relevancy, which is huge as you expand your territory, as the prayer of Jabez likes to talk about.
Yeah. No, I mean, he gives great advice. So James, also, I got a message from a business in Saratoga. It's called Saratoga Olive Oil.
Okay.
They like this show. They want to come on next week. and they are actually interested in sponsoring.
Oh,
so
cool.
we're gonna have him on. The only thing I might have to try to get a different day. He's going to try to do next week at 11:30, but if he can't, I said that we'll try to adjust for him because I want to get him on, and it'd be great to get him as a sponsor. But he really liked. He always follows the shows, the owner, and he loves you guys. So they want to come on. James, how's everything been going with you? Because I know we didn't do anything last week.
Things are picking up a little bit.
Okay, good. Because I had someone email me, and I gave him your email address. I don't know if they emailed you. It was a Yahoo, someone from Yahoo.
Okay.
Just if it comes in, it was a Yahoo account. I can't remember her name, but or his name. Somebody emailed me wanting your contact info.
Oh, okay, cool. I appreciate that.
So I passed it along.
Okay.
But yeah,
you can contact me through their website, LutherJamesInsurance.com.
I did give him that too. Or her. I can't remember if it was a her or him. I'll double check.
Okay.
But they were very interested in some of the policies that you had been talking about. But everything has been going good. You've been busy.
Yeah. I had a lot going on. Actually, the past 2 weeks, I have some new products with another carrier that I'm working on. Yeah, it's a carrier called National Life Group, which is one of the best companies to do the IULs with that I've been explaining with you guys. So there's going to be a not a rate jump, but a better interest rate on your policies, and that's going that's going to start next month.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to start.
Now, is that something that you go back to do you have to reach out then to all of your existing, I mean, not have to, like that seems like a great opportunity to reach out to your existing clients that, set it and forget it and just offer them new opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, like, it all depends too with the carriers that I use. So there's some people who specifically ask for a particular carrier because I have some clients who are educated in the process. They did research on their own, so I didn't have to really explain much to them. That's like the perfect client.
Okay, I was gonna ask you, is that actually good or bad? I mean, because I know in my industry, in fact, we had a sales meeting this morning, and one of my agents read a message that she received from a client about, hey, I've bought homes before, I know this process, and it was one of those things where it's like, hey, if they think they know too much.
Yeah,
it might.
I rein them
you're
in.
Saying you like when they quote unquote know too much. Are they usually on point or are they way off?
It's a mix of the two. So it all depends. So like I was out Saturday with the lady, and we were at a party, and
were you in Connecticut?
Yeah, I was in Bridgeport, and met this guy at a party. He came and sat with us at the table, and we were talking. And it got to the point of what do you do? What do I do? Yada yada yada. He's a BMW car salesman, and I said to him that I help people generate wealth with life insurance. And then he was giving me the whole spiel, like he watched a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff. So he just bought a condo in I think Stamford. And
wow.
So like now he's got like 40-50 grand left out of everything. And I said to him, you don't have a retirement and you're like almost 50. Why don't I take that 40 grand and multiply it for you?
That's scary. Wow.
Yeah. Well, and listen, I think that's where, and James, I'm sure you can attest to that, because even just the statistics, whether you watch Dave Ramsey, I mean, it is cash poor for the most part. But like when you hear they're cash poor, but then have no retirement or no savings, that's when it gets scary. I don't mind if you're cash poor and you've got assets and you've got
different because you can leverage that.
Exactly. And I think that's where there's going to be time seasonality or even the market where you need to lean on other ends of that. But it is amazing. And yet that's not uncommon for people to have not even a Roth IRA. I mean, it is. Yeah, it's interesting. But how often, because James, you're probably more advanced than most in your industry as far as what you see and who approaches you. But so you're saying this guy now, will he invest with you, and does he see the light?
Yeah, he will, because I said to him, I says, listen, in 3-4 years, you can use your policy as a bank, but you can't put in $100 and expect $1 million. It's not going to work that way.
Well, right. And I think, that's another point that so many, I mean, I see it in real estate investment. Well, they want to buy a place to use as a rental, and they think they can live off the cash flow. And it's like, well, dude, unless you put $150,000 down on that $150,000 duplex, you're going to have debt service and expenses to where hopefully you can cash flow by a few $100. I mean, I know investors
or break even,
right? That they'll even negatively cash flow. So because they know the asset will go up in value, and in a few years when they need to sell or refinance, the equity will be there. Yeah. But it is amazing when people think that they're just going to live off the cash flow of rentals. And it's like, well, you're going to have to drop 150 to 200,000, 250,000 in order to cash flow and provide enough passive income to really sustain your lifestyle, or have 10 to 15 of them. So there's a total misperception of how they can live off of this stuff and the interest.
Now I have clients who will do like, $200-300 a month. But I said to him, I says, listen, if you're looking to cash out at some point, you got to up it. You got to up it. Because like right now, it's just insurance. You're not gonna be a bank. I have a friend of mine. I did a quick policy I did like an $85,000 policy, and I did that like 3-4 years ago. And she's like, I'm looking to borrow, but they said there's no money. I says, yeah, you're only paying $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. I said, if you have $300 in cash right now in that policy, you're lucky.
Fresh, we have a question. Okay. If somebody
just
has,
read it.
Somebody who has poor credit, is it still possible for them to go to the bank and start their own business if they want to, if their credit score shit? And they asked, how do they lower it? Don't they just pay their credit card off?
I mean, that's a loaded question, right? So it's
that's why I cringe.
It's so
no offense. So,
yeah,
Billy. Right, no offense. Sorry.
No credit expert, not a credit expert by any means, right? But what I will say is this: is that from a business standpoint, what you want to do as soon as you can is either start with the business credit or move from your personal to business, right? And so there's a number of different ways you can go about doing that. I will say is if your credit is poor, then there's different ways that you can start using trade lines. There's these companies where you can use trade lines where you start to kind of have like secured lines of credit on the business side. And as you start to show, but let's just say if you can have a business that starts to show some profit, even within they do it in quarters, if you will. So 3 months, 6 months, 9, 12. So if you go, all right, I got 3 months of history, or they'll give you a little something, and then going based off of if you have a secure, a solid business plan. So a lot of things happen in the planning.
Okay.
Some people just they have an idea and they treat that idea like it's a business plan. It is not. So you got to take that idea, turn it into a business plan. And there's so many resources now, no more excuses. So you could use AI.
There's templates for it, right?
Yeah, use templates, use AI, then get someone to look it over, right? I would say then get someone to look it over. Make sure you don't sound like a robot, and have some and actually, if you start with a mission or a vision or both, ideally both, you can use that in your prompt for AI to actually start to lay out your business plan based on your mission and vision, and you can have something to present to the bank, right?
Right.
Now, the main thing that the bank is really want to know is the numbers. So what
How
you
much
do
you're
is
gonna borrow, or
well, they want to know how much basically money they can make off of you, right? How much money can I make,
okay.
right?
Well, or how much can they lend to you with the confidence that you're actually going to pay it back?
But
Yeah,
you have to have
almost.
equity, right? You have to show
You
Well,
need to have collateral.
that.
Yes.
That's what I meant,
So-
yeah.
So technically, your business making money would be the collateral, right? So my business making money, that's the collateral. So if
Yes.
it can be the collateral, and again, I'm saying that late because he's talking about someone who doesn't have, the credit. They don't
That's
have,
what he was saying.
Right.
Yeah,
They
he
just-
that good credit score.
yeah. But let's just say like they started something like, because you literally someone can start similar to what some of the things that I've started, and you don't
Yeah.
need a ton of money, but
I agree.
you can start. And then, when I was saying the 3, 6, 9 months, Laban knows in real estate and in business, they call that seasoning, right? They want to know like what kind of, how much, they need a certain amount of seasoning before they want to lend you money. But even when when the term Laban said, when they, lend you money that you're going to pay it back, that's another term of, okay, it's not just pay it back, because you're not just paying it back. They're not giving you, let's just say they're giving you $50,000 and you're giving them back $50,000. No, you're giving them back $50,000 plus whatever interest. So it's all about how much money can I make from you, right? What kind of relationship, like how much money can I make from you, like in terms of that loan? They consider that a product. So the loan is a product. The credit card is a product.
Okay.
The bank account, if they can charge you interest on your accounts for whatever reason, that's a product. Will they be able to do like similar to what James do? Will we be able to refer you to our insurance people? Can we do insurance through you? Like it's all about how can I make money off of you, and if your business makes enough sense that we can see it doing that. And the way they do that is they see how it relates to other businesses or similar businesses, or if it's the same. So you get what I'm saying? So for instance, if we use like what Laban does, like if someone says, all right, I'm a broker, right? They're a broker. They have a track record. Say they used to work for Marsh and Marsh, and they want to branch out on their own, right? They got the track record that they've done in the last 10 years. They've done 20 million. They've done 20 million in sales. Okay, right? And then they got proof of that. So now they're like, okay, we'll give you this to start your own brokerage. And they was like, already,
if you have a bad credit score, they would do that.
potentially.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where, and I don't want to step on toes, Fresh, but you're going more of the approach for the young people. Like I'm old school, and you had mentioned it a few weeks ago, Fresh. And locally, a lot of universities will offer an SBA, a Small Business Administration, where it would, like when we were first getting started, I walked in, they handed me a template from another business, didn't matter what it was, and it shows you the format or the boilerplate of, okay, what do you expect to make in revenue? What do you expect your expenses to be? Who are your administrators and how much are you paying them? Like, it is a detailed business plan. And I know you're asking about personal credit because there is business credit. Like
he's worried about getting a loan because he's got a shitty credit score.
Well, and that's the thing. If your credit
credit
isn't great, there's almost two things here. Like your personal credit, credit in general is so the banks know that you will pay back your debt. And
Correct,
so
right.
I have a lot of people who are debt averse. And so they'll say to me, hey, I want to go borrow. I want to do this big project. It's a $2 million project. And he's like, hey, I only have $30,000 in debt against my home. And I'm like, okay, the bank is not going to look at you and feel real excited about lending you $2 million if you only have $30,000 in debt. And yes, you make your payment, but that doesn't show the bank that you can handle a $2 million project. So when you have, and that's where they account for how long have you had credit. So parents, like if your kids are 18, like I remember my wife had a credit card when we were at college, and I think it had like a $25,000 limit. My credit card had like a $500 limit, and I maxed it out every time. My mom's like, what are you doing? But my wife, if she spent money, she would have to send a check to her parents to pay off the entire amount she spent. So it really comes down, if you want to build your credit score, have some discipline. Start early, but have discipline, because as soon as you miss a payment, by 30, 60, 90 days, now you're going to get absolutely crushed because it's going to drop your credit score by 50 points. And we see this on the rental side where we do try to help people, not only tenants, but buyers build their personal credit because that's how they're going to get loans. So when you spin that into a business, though, the business banking looks at what do you have for collateral. So obviously, if you have good personal credit, that's a great first step. Number two would be having a business plan so the bank knows what to expect. You're going to open an account for your bank account, and this is the fresh points. Like if we do $2 to $3 million in total revenue each year, the bank's looking at that like, hey, that's money that if he deposits it into our account, we can go out and lend this out and spend it. So the seasoning that Nedvonne, Fresh is talking about is, I've got 18 years of business experience now. We've been in business 18 years. They can look at what do we, not only our tax returns, 8, and I'm about to create 9, but honestly, and that's because of partnerships. But it is something that, how do you build your credit? Like I was told when we bought our last vehicle through the company, the guy at the dealership said, hey, we just had a plumber that's been in business for 50 years come in here, and you got a better interest rate on your commercial vehicle because his business credit was not as strong as yours. So there is a difference between personal credit and business credit. But majority of the time, if you're starting a new business and you don't have good credit, you can do two things at once, where you can start building your personal credit, but also write a business plan that explains, hey, I have collateral of my Roth IRA or this insurance policy. Like if I stop paying you, and every bank, when they loan you money, assumes you're going to stop paying them the next month. That's the assumption they make based on the 2008 crash, it seems. But they do want to know how much money can they make off you. And so the more detailed, and now it's not always going to go the way you wrote the business plan, just like anything else. But you've got to be willing to adjust. And that business plan is where, if you don't have great credit, but you have a great business plan, there are banks who will consider lending to you on, now it might be a higher rate because you're higher risk. But if you can find a good local bank or even an SBA loan, like the SBA, if you write a good enough business plan, there's lower interest loans that they can get you that maybe a bank can't. So again, Fresh is right on point, and I don't use Chat GBT or any of those AI as much as I probably should. But you're right. I mean, they could put together a great template if you just described what you're trying to do. And then, of course, like Fresh said, like if you're an agent under our company, like I give you a detail, like every single year, what was your total revenue? What was your net take home? Like those are the things. It's all about numbers though, too. Like if you don't know your numbers and the bank asks you a question, you're like, not going to go well. When you can tell, even if it's not something they'd like to hear, if you can tell them and show them a picture of what the business looks like, and then explain how the market has changed that, like show that you're educated,
so you're knowledgeable.
And what's most frustrating is you get in and you're probably smarter than most bankers because they're just paid employees that make decisions amongst the board. What were you going to say there, James?
No, James.
I was going to interject a little bit.
Oh, he had a question for you. Go ahead.
For those who are trying to build their business credit, whether they have good credit, bad credit.
Yeah. No, he froze.
Did you freeze, dude? I thought you were playing like
yeah, he froze.
Going in and out. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So
you froze.
Oh, you're good.
You can apply for a couple of net 30s, like maybe 8 to 10, because
yeah, those are trade lines. That's what I was saying. Trade lines.
Let me try.
Does anybody remember Max Headroom?
No. Max, what's that?
What? Max Headroom? You don't remember Max Headroom? The commercials where the guy would it was like the OG of glitching. Are you serious, Fresh? You don't remember Max Headroom? What commercial was he for, Steve?
I don't know. Who the fuck's Max?
That's what I'm saying. You remember Max Headroom?
Max Headroom?
Must have been regional.
No, dude. He was was it Pepsi? He was the guy that would be glitching. Okay. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know. I didn't know.
Oh, no. I didn't know that.
I remember Pepsi doing.
Dude, I feel so old now. Yeah, Max Headroom. Somebody in the comments, please tell these young pups I'm gonna have to look it up and send you the link. Max
man,
Headroom.
The Fu
It's
Man
like when
2
you're
got you thinking
glitching.
about a whole bunch of different things. This Fu Man got you
I'm gonna
bringing
look
up
it up.
some old stuff, man.
Oh, when James, you know Max Headroom. Do you remember Max Headroom?
Oh yeah.
Oh my, yeah. That's
1984.
Yeah, these two guys don't know Max Headroom. When you started glitching, it reminded me like that was the original glitch was Max Headroom.
Right, what 1984, 1985?
Bro, you guys need
Coca-Cola?
to.
Oh, why?
Yeah, was it
barely
Coca-Cola
born
or
yet.
Pepsi? I said
Coca-Cola.
Pepsi. Oh man,
No, it is Pepsi.
It was Pepsi.
all right. I was gonna say
Yeah.
their branding wasn't very good. If one thought
I
it was
didn't know
Pepsi,
the
one thought
name.
it was-
I remember the glitch.
I was
You said
barely
it was
born.
Pepsi.
Yeah, he kind of looked like that dude from Rocky, the Russian from Rocky. Right, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, actually,
Yep.
looked like the dude from Sledgehammer, the song.
The song, Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter.
Sledgehammer, that dude. I can't
Yep.
remember.
James, go ahead with what
Sorry,
you
we
were
went
saying.
down
And
the
then
rabbit hole
he had,
there.
he had another question for you too.
Like a good cheap way, not really paying anything front to do is like look for some net 30 accounts like Quill. You know, I would suggest buying something small because it really doesn't matter how much money you spend. It's the fact that you spent a little bit of money and you paid it right back.
Oh, right.
It builds up your business credit. Yeah. If you do it a couple of times, you know, go and get yourself a roll of paper towels for the office or something like that. Because not for nothing, these companies they're priced a little high on some of the stuff that they offer. Like I wouldn't pay for, like I wanted a chair and it was like a simple chair and they were trying to charge me like $300-400 for it.
Oh, yes.
I know I can go to Staples and get for $150. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you can establish good credit in that, good business credit in that sense. You don't do one or two. You have to do a few of them over time. So like I would suggest taking out like maybe 8 to 10 accounts in 1 month, you know, buy a roll of toilet paper or something like that, or a pack of tissues or something from there, pay it right back before it even, you know, once it's at your door,
builds it. Okay.
Pay it back, because then it shows that you have a good payment history.
Right.
You know?
Right. Okay.
Now you won't be able to get bank loans off the bat in the very beginning.
Right.
But if you do enough of these, it shows that you're sort of trustworthy for credit. And at some point you may be eligible to get a loan, because some people try and go out and get $100,000 right off the bat.
Yeah, that's kind of what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not going to work. Right.
No.
Right.
You'd be lucky to get $5,000 off in the very beginning.
He also wanted to know about if he gets the loan and does start this business, what insurances would be good for him to get? Because I know life insurance that wouldn't apply to someone who has a business, though, right? Or a business.
That's
in
probably
general.
Keyman.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
Keyman
policy. Yeah,
that's what you were. That's okay. Is that the one you do, or is it the umbrella one you said you do more of?
I do all of them. I just don't do business. Like business insurance. Like
right.
Now I can do ancillary stuff like accidental disability and things like that. There's a difference between disability from an insurance company and disability from the state.
Right.
So
okay.
Because the insurance company one pays out a lot better. I've been on state disability. It's not a picnic. Right.
You gotta work like it. It's so much work to get it. I mean,
I hurt my knee playing ball, and I had surgery and I was out for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I had disability through I was at a company working, and they ate up all of my vacation days.
Were you able to get SSI?
No.
Oh no. Okay. Wow.
I didn't get hurt on the job. I got hurt. Hurt at the gym.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I had a guy clip me while I was playing. I was eating him up playing ball, and he clipped me.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, and especially when it happens after a little
Yep.
later. Yeah, that's frustrating. That's why isn't that why they do Aflac, right? That's Prime and all those guys. Doesn't the
Yeah, exactly. That's ancillary. That's ancillary.
Okay.
I sell stuff like that. I actually do. I provide stuff like that for companies as well.
James, the other question,
it is cheaper in the group than it is for individual.
The other
Oh,
question was, I think it was the last show. You mentioned instead of the 401k, investing more in the life insurance because it's tax free, correct? And if you take money out of the 401k, you get taxed all hell.
You froze up a bit.
Oh,
What was the question again?
You mentioned about 401k and life insurance, and you said if you invest in the life insurance, when you take it out, it's tax free. The 401k, you get taxed all hell.
It's tax free.
Okay. So
yeah, because your 401k is pre-tax.
So he wants to know if he should have both. Is it normal?
Absolutely.
Right. You normally would have both. Okay. But
I would.
But you were saying investing in the policy is more advantageous than the 401k.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Billy. You got your questions answered.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, when the market takes a hit, your 401k takes a hit.
Yes.
Whereas you have it in the particular policies that I offer for whole life insurance. Your money's more protected because if the market takes a hit, you don't lose any money. There's a floor. So your value may stay the same, but you didn't lose anything. So I'd rather not lose anything than lose.
Right. Fresh, the same guy was asking because you mentioned that you and Laban were talking about the business plan. And you obviously probably went in with a business plan. Can you talk a little bit about the process of putting it together and then the interview?
And I'm not sure where you read with the interview part, but the process for putting together.
Well, bank. You mean the bank?
You go to the bank, yeah.
Present it to the bank.
With a business plan.
So,
And
like anything else, you should have about, you should start with an outline, right? So, because in your business plan, you should have a clear mission statement. You should have a vision. You should have there should be kind of timelines of what kind of funds you feel you'll be able to make within a certain amount of time. Let's just call it a year's time and break that down.
Because you're not going to be profitable in the first year typically, right?
It depends on kind of business you're in.
Yeah,
most businesses, most like businesses, if it's like brick and mortar, let's just call it, a lot of things are like, service businesses, right? So most of us are in service businesses, right? Provide some kind of service.
Right.
Service businesses, it all depends on your overhead, right? So if you're going in and you're like, I need a building, I need staff, I need usually your largest expense is usually your kind of
personnel.
Like your personnel. I'm about to say your human capital, the people that you got to pay them. So so it depends. Now, if you're just like initially running it yourself, which a lot of new business owners tend to not take, they don't take a
salaries.
They don't take a salary for a while.
They don't.
Yeah, so some of a good number of them don't. Whether they say it or not.
It's a really great point. I don't want to cut you off, Fresh, but anytime I evaluate a business, that is one of the first things that I want to know, because it's like, okay, you say you're profitable, but you're not paying yourself anything. So like, I'm going to have to pay somebody to do that role, and I need to know what that's going to pay me, right? And because if you're profitable by 100,000, but you're not paying yourself the 80,000 you should be, or that I'm going to have to pay, you're really only profitable by 20,000. right?
So how do you survive if you're not getting paid?
Oh, it just
bunch of different
depends.
ways.
Yeah, I mean, and they can, whether they peel back on a monthly basis, and not to say they don't report it, but is sometimes what happens too. I mean, or they live through, they use their business capital and credit to provide their lifestyle. My wife got fleeced by a business partner about 9 years ago. And you have to be careful because business partnerships are a lot like marriage, at least in Pennsylvania. So when my wife's business partner would take the company credit card and stop at Dollar General to get her household groceries and cleaning supplies, well, that's a business expense that she should be paying personally from her salary, right? Instead, she was using the business credit card to provide lifestyle and, like co-mingle. I mean, there were all sorts of things wrong. And when Meg took it to the attorneys are like, well, even though she didn't tell you that's what she was doing, you're partners. And so that is part of the expense that you can't recuperate. So that is something that, and then the other side of it, it was wild and it was brutal. But the other side is like there's companies our EFM partnership, right? Where we just hold real estate.
You got to break that down. No, we don't know what EFM means.
Okay, so that's just a partnership with 4 of us guys, and when it's like, and I'm gonna lose my train of thought now.
Well, is that an acronym or something?
But it's a partnership, right?
Like the investment group?
Yeah, similar. Like we have so much rent coming in from all the rentals, and then we have debt service on the loans. But at the end of the year, we don't want to be profitable. We actually want to show a loss because as a LLC, it passes through to us personally. And if you show a loss, technically, then you don't have to pay tax on that. So there comes like a process of owning a business where, yes, the first few years, it's hard to be profitable potentially if they're covering all those things. But as you get seasoned in business and now you are showing a profit and now you're paying, tax on that profit, that's when we started to get company vehicles because it doesn't make sense to pay me a salary and then I take my money from home and go pay for the car if the company can provide the car and it never comes through that payroll process, if you will. So there's definitely, right, exactly. Now, and
that's why some people buy their Mercedes G-Wagons.
Oh, for sure.
Bentley's. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, and then it goes back to the same thing, and Fresh has said it before. You don't want to own things. You want to own businesses that own things, right? You want to get as much liability out of your personal name as possible. And again, I know that kind of took it deep into the weeds, but all of that saying you could be profitable the first few years. And as you are more profitable, you got to look at your expenses and see what are smart expenses, whether it's investment, insurance, vehicles, like, potential liability. But a lot of that still comes with that credit worthiness and being able to pay it back. That's all the banks want to know. Can you pay this back? And that's where if the bank's saying, I don't know, we don't feel comfortable with this, take that same business plan to other small business owners and say, hey, would you want to invest in what I'm doing? Would you want to become a partner in what I'm doing?
That was his other question. Fresh. He wanted to know, because of his bad credit, if he should look for an investor and have him, go to the bank.
I would say
someone better credit.
Yes. So you want, in all partnerships, just like teams, people play roles. You have certain skills you may have that you're good at, and you need to bring something. Ideally, you bring something to the table, right? You're like, he's looking for a partner, right? He might have the idea. He might know how the things work. He might be willing to put in sweat equity, but he doesn't actually have the equity. Correct. Somebody can put the credit up, but they're going to run it, and they have confidence that they can run it well. So as long as you are bringing something of value to the table, then it makes sense. And and what happens is the best business owners know what they are not good at. Right?
Exactly. They hire people who are good.
All right. So I know what I'm not good at. So if you know what you're not good at, then you find people to partner with that are good at the things that you need to run a successful business.
Right.
And if you don't know what those things are, that just tells you you're not good at something, and you need to get a mentor to help you even understand that part. Right. So then, you work from there. So you start where you are. I think some people, one of the things, and this is on topic, but a little bit off. A lot of people, just like, and people do this with faith as well, right? So, as I always mention, as a Christian, people think that they have to get right before they start to, go to church and start to have a relationship with God. Like, oh, I gotta clean this up, right? I gotta stop doing drugs. I gotta stop drinking. No, come as you are. Mm-hmm. That's where you go to get right, to get things together. So sometimes you just need to come as you are, be vulnerable. Hey, I have this great idea, great concept. I have some skills, but I don't really know what I'm doing. Great, right? Laban could tell. I would rather hear that than someone trying to,
to be
pull one over on you. Yeah,
like the funk, like, yo, no, I know this. I got this together.
Yeah, I got
it together. What you need me for, right?
Just so like my brother's wife,
kind of thing. So
I thought we weren't going to talk about her, Steve.
We're not. No, we're not talking about her.
It's one of those things where be humble.
Yeah.
Come as you are
and be honest.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yep.
You have to be honest about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when people aren't honest in business, like that's an intuitive thing that you can read on, pretty easy. And we see that like with tenants, as far as when they first ask, hey, do you check credit? Like, I already know you have terrible credit. As soon as you ask me that questions, do you call former landlords? Right. I mean, and I think it's hilarious because, yes, anybody that's been in the market, it's like when you go to the doctor and you think, oh man, this guy, I don't know if he's going to, yeah, dude, he's seen it 10,000 times and he knows why it came about. So don't try to hide and lie to him about how you acquired that when the way it's acquired is in only one way and they know. So, yeah.
James, he wanted another person wanted to know because Luther James Insurance is relatively new, correct?
Yep.
Was it challenging to get started?
Yeah, it's still challenging.
Right. I know that. Right. But like the way that you started it.
So what I did was I did everything on the cheat. Okay. I already had an LLC. I just put my business already under my LLC and I just attached it. I spent a lot of money on getting my name out there. Just marketing.
Yeah, right. You had to.
And it was all out of pocket. It was all
I know. Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
Well, and especially with, that's all branding, right? I actually just I have an appointment coming up. One of my buddies who's a teacher, I guess she came into his classroom. So a teacher's aide, I guess. And so she is looking to buy something. Man, I'm having trouble with my mind keeping these things straight. The reason I was going to tell you that, though, we were just talking because, she said this. And early on, we actually trademarked the phrase for our company, we see your signs everywhere. And as I'm talking to this girl, it's been 18 years. And she said, when Aaron told me you were with Marsha Marsh, immediately she's like, I see those signs everywhere. So early on, as we were putting these signs out, people are like, hey, I see your signs everywhere. So we literally trademarked that statement. We see your signs everywhere. And so it is something where that's your branding and how you get started. And we had all of our company vehicles wrapped with our logo for the first few years. There is definitely something to be said that as you get started, really pouring on that branding and market. There you go, Fresh. Right on cue, hits his branding. But it is true. And so it's even to the point where like there's a great book called 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. They tell you what colors to use to evoke, different feelings. They tell you the size to keep it in a certain. The other thing is like you see Nike, right? Nike is actually going back and putting Nike on some of there. But if you see the swoosh, you know what that is.
No. Right.
And that's where for Marsha Marsh, we used a general star that has two of the points vertical. The hope is if you see that general star in this local area, you associate it with Marsha Marsh, right? So I think that's where branding what you're talking about with, James. And yes, early on, if you want people to recognize your logo, hear your name, like you have to put a little bit of out of pocket money into that opportunities. And the other thing we do is we've done like the tunnels for the two of the high schools that our kids compete at. Whereas like every time they blow up that tunnel and it has a Marsh logo on it, I don't care if they're coming in from Ohio, Pittsburgh, like we work on our branding intentionally. And we purposely put it in locations like high school sporting events because we want to, those are the people that we know, they love us, they support us. So pour your money into where, you can't always, nobody's going to come up and say, hey, I saw your tunnel, so I decided to buy a home from you. Like there's a difference when you're strategic marketing and then branding. And branding, both these guys have it in their background. It's imperative. It really is imperative. And the big boys do it without you even knowing. You know what I mean? That and it was Max Headroom was Coke. It was the new Coke, and it was April of 1985.
It was Coke, right?
It was Coke. So they didn't do a very good branding job. Where I've had a baker's dozen.
You got a TV show out of it.
Oh, he did. I mean,
on
but
ABC.
And that was he was a British guy, and it says glitchy, and it's called artificial intelligence. Like 1985, artificial intelligence, Max Headroom, crazy,
right?
But yeah, branding is vital, brother.
Fresh, I just wanted to ask, is the new place, you got the building, is everything up and running?
Yeah, I mean, we're not offering drop-off service yet. The business
Not
never
besides
stopped.
that. Okay.
Yeah, no, everything, nothing stopped. It's still,
it's just the different location.
That was the whole purpose of me. The way I started the business was that it will never, it should never stop, right?
It could run without you. Yeah.
It definitely could run without me. Right now, in the beginning, which still pretty much the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
not even a full year in. I know.
But I'm getting to a point now where I can start to pull myself out. I mean, it really won't be a year. We didn't really open up until
February, right?
January,
right.
So January will be a year.
Yeah.
But that's the ideal. Eventually, hopefully by our anniversary, I should just be managing people.
Well, that's what another person wanted to know, if you were going to sell the place once it makes money, blows up. Or franchise.
I'm gonna say something, and probably again, Laban can understand. Any business owner understand this. Initially, so I'll say, like, no, I'm not looking to sell it now, but no one's looking to sell until they're ready to sell, right? That's just kind of like it's a crazy thing. You ask somebody, you let us know, you're ready to sell. No, I'm not ready to sell. No, I'm not going to sell until something happens to where someone's ready to sell. So I would say I do position all my businesses to where they can function and have a valuation to where it's valuable to a point that it can sell. Now, if somebody makes you an offer, not saying that you can't refuse, you always can refuse it. But if an offer that makes sense, and you have something that you built and you can do it again, right? It's something you can do it again. So so for instance, like, believe it or not, like, it's something in the name, like the branding. We're gonna go back to branding, what Laban just mentioned. Imagine this, Lab. Someone offered you, your mom, you guys say, at whatever point, we want to offer you, we want to buy Marsh the brand, right? Marsh real estate, whatever, that they want to buy the brand.
Right.
And people, big businesses do this all the time. You may say, well, we can sell you 49% of the brand, right? You can get name the branding rights for a certain amount of time, right? Or 10, 15, 20 years. Or they can sell the whole thing and be done and then redo it, right? And go with a different name, right?
Yeah.
Right. You could do that. But just imagine, like, if it's like, yo, they offered us $100 million to do it. You're like, we have all our relationships. They just want the brand. Here, take the brand. I got all my relationships. We just made a load of money. We can rebrand, do something different.
And you still have your client base.
Business as usual.
But listen, and that you're exactly right. There is a local company in Erie. They handle dumpsters, right? They sold their business for big money and had a 2-year non-compete. And at 2 years and day one, with a totally different name, they're back up and running, and I still use them. And so whoever bought their business, I'm sure, is doing okay. But Fresh, to your point, anybody that personally knew those owners, that knew what they were doing by rebranding out of necessity, they loved their business, loved the way they operated, loved their people, and picked right back up. Now, it can be risky because it is a total rebrand, and but you're right. And I've also said, like, for somebody starting a business, it is good. I know it sounds weird, but it is good to think about an exit strategy when you start your business.
You have to.
Whether it's succession planning.
You have to start with the end in mind.
Right. And I think that's where, because my mother just had lunch the other day with Hottie Hannah's grandson. And Hottie Hannah is the original, or I'm sorry, Howard Hannah's grandson.
I'm like,
Hottie's one of the sons.
Where's your mom?
Oh, Howard Hannah, if they're number 4 in the entire country for real estate brokerage. They're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And so my mom said, listen, we're not selling. I don't mind having lunch with you to talk about the market. Because for us, we didn't start the business to sell it. Like, there's 12 grandkids, and I'd love to think some of them. In fact, it was funny because my mom said that Howard Hannah makes every one of his grandchildren get their license at 18.
Get their license.
Now, I'm sure they have a desire to a certain extent, but like, why would you not? To Fresh's point, like, you have people surrounding you that would love to feed you business, that wants to see you young and new and hardworking and assertive. Go get it. So, yeah, I think anytime you start a business, it's worth thinking about an exit strategy or a succession plan. And I think that's where a lot of times, and I've seen this happen, another friend of mine owned a paving business. They got bought out, and now he became an employee. Like, wasn't making the bank. It wasn't making as much as he was as an owner, but it made, you get a lump sum and to sell, but you got to do something with the rest of your life. And I'm 46. He was, I think, 40 at the time. And it's like, well, you're not going to retire from that. I mean, it was a good chunk of change, but what are you going to do with your life? And so I think that's where, when you know how something operates and you can rebrand it, if it makes sense and it makes money,
come see me.
There you go.
Last question. I apologize. James.
Yes, sir.
A couple recently got engaged, and they're going to be getting married.
Okay.
They would like to know, what insurance policies would you recommend for a couple who's getting married? Do they get separate life insurance policies? How does that work?
Personally, I think I would do separate.
Yep. Okay.
They have couples ones, but in order for somebody to get paid out, you got to wait for the next person to pass away and all that stuff. No. So I suggest to do separate. Even if you had kids,
right?
Do a policy on everybody.
Oh, okay.
Well, and I know this is a little different, but important. And my mother used to always, anytime a first-time home buyer is buying a home, it's like, hey, listen, and the attorneys, they should do well. But not only that, a will. You need to draw up a will once you own a home. Oh, yeah. And even my wife and I, we had a will, and then things have changed and adjusted. And that's the other thing. If you have a will in place, good for you. But make sure you keep it updated, because I don't know the last time we did our will. We now have 4 kids. Yeah, that's another thing, right? But those are the things where you don't often think about it. They don't often get talked about. But yes, like, if you don't have a will, I don't know what age you are, especially if you have assets, you need to have a will so that you have. And again, heaven forbid something comes into place. But what's worse is if you don't have a will and something goes down, and now everybody's either fighting or just not sure about what to do with everything.
In probate court, and it's a mess. All right,
I suggest to do a trust as well as a will.
Trust and a will,
because wills, because wills can be contested, and it just take time sitting in court. But if you put it in a trust, the trust, you have specific instructions on how everything is divided through the trust.
Oh, okay. So a trust is easier than a will.
It's better. You can do the will, but your beneficiary is the trust.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And then now there's instructions as to who gets what.
Yeah.
Generally, you're doing it for your family. So if you have kids,
Yeah.
You know, it's going to go to Johnny, Ricky, you know,
Steven.
exactly.
Stephen was a little misbehaved. We don't know how much.
Yeah.
And especially if he's relying on his sister-in-law.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So I just have to mention Kevin Freeman, the K Free Ball Academy is coming to Springfield.
Nice.
It's a 4-week camp starting on September 20th and ending on October 18th. 4 weeks. It's for boys and girls, 3rd grade to 6th grade. You can sign up by emailing him. It is kfreeballacademy@gmail.com. Kevin Freeman, UConn legendary basketball player. Great camp. He's got some surprises, coaches and players that are going to be showing up. So anyone who wants to attend, it's in Springfield, and we're trying to help them out with that. We got Luther James Insurance, 3 years. He's dedicated himself to the art of financial planning services, insurance policies, life insurance, and retirement planning. He helps first responders and law enforcement achieve financial stability, and he helps with the stress of retirement. How much am I going to need? How many years? For how long? Because fear of the unknown is real. Just go ahead and check out his website. It is lutherjamesinsurance.com. And Fresh, again, thank you. Laban, King of Real Estate, Erie, PA.
Hey, great to be with you guys. It's a couple weeks off, and we didn't get to talk a lot about UConn.
I know.
But
I gotta jump on another show. Unfortunately,
understood, bro. We'll come back to it.
Just remember,
go Huskies.
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them
at Steve's sister-in-law.
There you go. Throw them at Stephanie, please.